Guys, welcome back to the Round 14 podcast, episode 7. And Tony, how are you, my friend? We've got a big one tonight.
Doing well. How are you doing? All right?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How was your weekend? Big weekend, both sides of the border.
Yeah.
Canada Day on July 1st and followed up by the 4th of July.
On the 4th of July. It was good. You know, we did the whole barbecue thing outside, burgers, whatnot. You guys had a good time?
Yeah, there was fireworks going off in here, around the neighborhood like you wouldn't believe. I don't know where they got the fireworks and,
and
beer and fireworks in Canada. It's a great combination. So
yeah, right. Good stuff.
But episode 7, guys, huge day today. July 6th is the one and only Sylvester Stallone's 76th birthday. So, Mr. Stallone, we wish you a happy birthday, sir.
Very happy birthday. 76 on 7-6, actually.
Yeah.
Look at that. 7-6, and he's turned 76.
Yeah.
That's awesome. 76, and he ain't slowing down for 1 second either, is he?
No, sir. He is certainly not slowing down. And if you haven't figured out by now, guys, we are going to get into it this episode. 76 years old. He's got a boatload of stuff coming out this year. The Tulsa King in November. He's got Expendables 4 coming out. Also, highly anticipated Samaritan coming out.
Yep, Samaritan. He's got the reality show with his daughters.
His daughters are going to be doing reality show.
He's just go. I mean, good for him. You know, I mean, he's got the energy. He's got obviously the talent. I mean, you know, the working out and the taking care of yourself obviously shows.
Yeah.
Because the man is a actor. He is a writer. He is a director. He is a producer. He is an artist, and that has nothing to do with the films. I mean, so he's definitely a jack of all trades, and I wouldn't say a master of none by any means.
No,
he's definitely a master of a lot.
Well, you know, Tony, he certainly showed us, all of us, the true meaning of keep moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Don't ever quit. Don't ever stop.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know the backstory. It didn't start out, great. No. But what he's done is he never gave up, and starting with you know, when he got Rocky, you know, when he got that one out, it was a different thing, right? So
he stood his ground, you know, and then wanted to play the part. He didn't change his mind with that for 1 second. I couldn't imagine having no money, sold my dog. And somebody offers me $500,000, you know, $250,000 or whatever, you know, whatever the actual amount is. It's almost like a fishing story. The more you hear it, the larger the amount gets. But regardless, it's more money than he's ever seen in his life. And for him to turn it down and say, no, I'm doing this. And actually, I mean, that's when I plan on saying to him when I do meet him in December. I want to thank him for having the courage to stand his ground and become Rocky.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I don't think Rocky. And it's easy for me to sit here and say this now because Rocky's already established into what it is. But I don't think it would have been the film it was and the impact it had on millions and millions of people if it was a different actor.
No.
Because if that other actor did it, it would have just been a role. They wouldn't have cared. And he cares. He cares about that role. That's his baby.
I mean, you're certainly right. That is his baby. That's his words on those paper.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be a Rocky 2 or Rocky 3. You know, there might not even be a Rambo if he doesn't do Rocky.
Well,
right?
Probably not. I mean, maybe. Well, and again, maybe not. It wouldn't have been a Rambo, even if there was a First Blood. I don't think it would have become into Rambo like it did. You know, because they didn't have him. He definitely proves to you that you stand your ground or don't take no for an answer or if you really believe in it with your heart, keep moving forward and not give up. And
so I'm going to put a picture up here for us to enjoy some of the roles. Iconic, right? Like
I know, right?
Those are some of the biggest characters.
What actor can say they have that many iconic roles?
Yeah, right there. Like you got Rocky, you got Rambo, Cobra, Tango from Tango and Cash, Judge Dredd, Demolition Man, Expendables. So 3 of those characters right there that he stars in. There's not too many people around that have claimed a 3 series right? Everybody's been in a series, whether it's been the Lethal Weapons or the Batmans and Back to the Futures, but I don't think there's anybody that has 3 franchises.
I don't believe so. I mean, I'd have to really research it, but yeah, 3 film franchises that are very successful.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. Very successful. To see that type of, I don't want to say fame, but success, lack of a better term.
Yeah.
The film franchise, as rare as it is.
I mean, these aren't films that he put out and nobody cared about. These are blockbusters. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right? Like these are the heavy hitters.
Those are any one of those franchises would have made it would have been life altering for an actor, and that's all they would have done.
I mean,
and he's always said, I think he believes he's a writer before all of it, before the acting, before the directing, producing or whatnot. I think that picture's so cool because of the Rocky poster on the wall.
Yeah, that's right. And, I truly believe he's in his happy place when he's pen to paper.
Yeah.
Leave him alone and the juices are flowing, right? I think I've heard him say that before when he gets creative, like, don't come in, don't bug me. And the fact is he puts it on notepad still. He's still doing the notepad.
A little spiral notebook.
Some 50 years later that he's still writing it down and chicken scratches and writing the, I was making some notes for the show tonight and, I was using a notepad, right? So, but
that's
I love it.
And I'm sure that's the hardest of the group. I mean, I'm obviously speaking not from experience.
Yeah.
I've never been any of those in a professional level.
Yeah.
And, but the writer, I'm sure, is the toughest of the group.
That's right.
As far as director, producer, actor, and writer.
Well, and then now you touched on this earlier. We get into not only is he writing it, but you'll find him behind the camera. You'll find him on set giving direction, right?
Yep.
This is from Rocky Balboa, 2008.
6.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. 2006. Sorry. There's so many moves. I got that's the Rambo. I apologize, Sly.
It looked like a 6 on the paper.
Yeah.
Your hands was getting tired when you were writing.
That's right. So, no. I have a hard time keeping track of what he's doing.
Right.
So I put some notes here, Tony. 83 films that he's either appeared in, uncredited, a cameo, or of course starred in. 83 films.
And in the beginning, there was a lot of uncredited cameos, uncredited parts, the guy on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
The mugger in the subway.
The mugger in the subway who beat up Woody Allen, right? So.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, the very first film he ever did was in 1969, The Square Root, and he was an uncredited cameo, extra. He was an extra in that. 69 was the downhill racer. He was a restaurant patron.
Wow.
So I mean, that's 69. That's 7 years, right? Before Rocky. 6 probably, because it was released in 76.
Yep.
So it's not like he was discovered overnight and he had this overnight fame.
No, that's right. And let me tell you something. Those still count. If I was in a movie, it was uncredited, you'd hear it every 5 minutes. I tell you,
of course.
Did you see me? Did you see me in Rambo? Did you see I was the guy that got shot the first scene?
And he was just trying to get to the next one, get a few under his belt, get the experience of what it's like to be in a movie. I'm sure he made a few bucks and maybe got a sandwich. That was it. But it led him to the next one,
right?
And which led him to the next one, and so forth.
And then of course we got the his breakout role, right? We're all familiar with this scene.
There it is.
Right? Like anybody that's seen that, and I don't know who hasn't seen Rocky. I'm sure there's some people that haven't, but you put that picture up. You put that picture up and ask them who's this, and they'll tell you who it is.
Or you play the first few sounds of the, Gonna Fly Now or Eye of the Tiger. They know what it is. They know what it is.
That's right.
And that was in 76. I mean, he did all just extra stuff, like you said, the mugger, the this and that. The only one he had a substantial meaty role in before Rocky was Lords of Flatbush.
Sure.
Which is a good film. It was a very good film. I mean, I enjoyed that film, but he definitely played the bruiser, tough guy. He was all stocky and meaty and
that's right.
With the leather jacket and whatnot.
Yeah. And I think I don't want to say it for sure, but I think Hollywood kind of assumed that's the role he would take on,
Well, he even said it.
Yeah.
He even said, that it seemed like he was just getting offered, tough guy roles, the shakedown role, the mob guy role. He wanted to get branched past that.
Yeah.
And
Now
it's not easy to do.
I read that when he was a extra in Woody Allen movie, they were muggers on the train, right?
Yeah.
That Woody Allen eventually, prior to that, was going to pass. Said, I don't think it's going to work out. I'm not really sure you're intimidating enough. So they went back, they got the leather jackets, slicked their hair back, they grabbed him, and they looked at him and said, "Do I intimidate you now?" And they've got the role.
And they got the role, really?
So, yeah.
That's a cool, it's so funny. I mean, as much as I know about his career, I never heard that story. That's awesome.
Yeah. And, so 1976, Rocky is nominated, and, I think we got a picture here. I think he carried home a little bit of hardware that night. Right?
I mean, you could not even, it's almost like you get called up in the Major League Baseball stadium to play in Game 7 of the World Series, and you hit the game winning home run as a rookie or as a nobody, not even a rookie.
No,
as a nobody to win Best Picture. Come on. That's just,
that he wrote. Let's get that out of the way right away. That he wrote and he starred in, that nobody wanted him for the role.
No, right. We all know that story.
So the movie itself was $1 million to one shot. The actor was $1 million to one shot, right? Sure. And he knocked it out of the park, like you said, right?
Well, because I do believe it was semi-autobiographical, and it was also written so much from his heart and his inside that it was him. I mean, let's face facts. He is Rocky. Rocky is him. And of course, not to the fullest extent that we're talking, but for the most part, there is a lot of Rocky in him and so forth. So a lot of it was acting and taking on, but a lot of it was, he lived that struggle. He lived, I want to try to prove I'm not a bum from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
He knew what that was like.
And I think that makes it, I think that makes it more genuine, right? Because like you said, he lived that life, right? He said, one of his favorite, I think I've heard it say it a few times, when you're used to eating spiders, you have nothing. And this is where he came into, I'm going to turn down this money. And people said, how could you turn down this money? You're struggling. You sold your dog. You're going to get kicked out of your apartment. He goes, I have nothing. I have nothing now. What, I can't have anything less.
Sure.
So if I sell this Rocky, if I give them this script and walk away, I'll just continue to be that mugger or the thug, right?
Yeah.
So he stuck to his guns, and like I said, my hat is off to him for that. It's an amazing. You're right. I don't know anybody can do it.
We mentioned on one other episode, I forget which one it was, but it was made, for just under $1 million, which in today's market, that is about $5 million. And it made, $216 million or whatever it was. In today's market, that's $5 billion.
Yeah.
So obviously when they saw those kind of dollar figures, that, the word sequel was coming out of their mouths the second they won Best Picture. So there was no doubt there was going to be a Rocky 2. Now, whether there was a Rocky 3 or not is a whole other story, but they knew they had to have a Rocky 2.
Yeah. I believe the original scripts, he had three scripts written. So he had Rocky. I almost said Rocky 1 there. Rocky 2.
Mortal sin, Tim.
Yeah. You get banned from the podcast, from your own podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
I would.
Rocky 2 and Rocky 3. It was supposed to be a trilogy. But, I'm awful glad he kept going. I think everybody is.
Oh, absolutely. That's, he had to keep going. I mean, so many people like Balboa, Creed wouldn't have happened. I mean, there's so much storyline that if it stopped at 3,
that's right. And then we get this great behind the scenes from Rocky 4. I love this picture here.
Yeah.
He's got the camera and, he directing, Rocky directing Rocky right there.
I mean, just think about how hard that is in general. Never mind as somebody that's, by Rocky 4, he obviously had a little under his belt, but to do all that as one person, I mean, writing it, you're directing it, you're starring in it. You got to run over here. Okay. Action. Do this, do that.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But he did have, there's so many films that get kind of swept. I don't want to say swept under the rug. I mean,
No.
true Stallone fans know them and love them.
Mm-hmm.
But when people hear about Stallone, they automatically think about the action movies or just Rocky or just Rambo, whichever may be.
That's right.
Nighthawks, great film. Great film. It was Victory with the soccer team.
Yeah. Paradise Alley. What about Paradise Alley, right?
Yep.
Another underrated film. Mm-hmm.
And then once he got into megastardom after Rocky IV, that's when Cobra and Over the Top and
some of the fan favorites, right? So it's like your songs. You go to your songs. You go to your list.
Put on a playlist.
If you dig back in the catalog and you look on your shelf, I know on my shelf anyways, I have Victory, I have Fist, I have Paradise Alley, right? Every once in a while you just throw one of them on and if you haven't seen those, you got to check them out. They're phenomenal.
I love Lockup.
Lockup. Oh my goodness.
Cliffhanger was a favorite of mine when his I'd say maybe 85 to 95 time frame.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another one that doesn't get nearly enough credit that people almost snicker at is Judge Dredd. Right? I love Judge Dredd. Now I might be biased, but I'm telling you, it's action, it's comedy.
It is a good film too, though. Yeah, it's got action, it's got comedy.
Yeah,
it's got a little bit of it all. It was comic book before the comic book, mega stratosphere came through. Mm-hmm. I thought it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. No, you got Demolition Man, right? You got ICU, which was Detox it's either Detox or ICU.
And I think was that straight to video? Or was that?
No, I believe it was straight to video, but it's another great movie, right? So, but you mentioned Lockup. I know we're bouncing around all over the place, but that's kind of the feeling, right? You like this show today is just celebrating his accomplishment, what he's given to us,
his work.
Not only what he's written, what he's directed, he directed John Travolta, right?
Yeah, so, Staying Alive. I mean, a sequel to Staying Alive, and that was pretty cool. And that's a small little cameo in that movie as well.
Yep. And we talked about that on a previous show, and I wonder if anybody has gone back and that did not know he was in it.
Checked it out,
and checked it out to see. We gave you a hint. It's right in the very beginning.
Right in the beginning.
Probably about 3 to 5 seconds. I'm going to say 3 seconds. If you
something
blink,
like that. I mean, he's walking. Travolta's walking, and you'll
bumps
see him.
You're gonna. Well, I just gave it away, but you're gonna see it.
But also too, look at all the impact he's had besides the films and besides the writing. I mean, he's done some voiceover stuff with animation. He did, Ants. He did.
That was big in my house, I tell you.
He did the Zookeeper. Remember, he was Lion, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's been in Spy Kids franchise. I mean, I guess that's another franchise, right? Would you consider that a franchise?
Say that, yeah, but
he's in a couple of them, right?
Right. So, and then the positive impact on the fitness world.
Sure.
I know personally, when I saw Rocky, I don't know of any other 10-year-old that was asking for weights in a punching bag for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he got me into going to the gym and being fit and getting in shape and whatnot. I wouldn't say I didn't have a desire to, but I just played sports as a kid.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a desire to go to the gym. I didn't care about that. And when I saw him and he was lifting weights and working out, I said, oh, well, that's how you do it. Okay. I'll do that.
Pretty good. Looks pretty good.
He was on the cover of Muscle and Fitness probably a dozen times.
Yeah.
His workout routines are just legendary.
That's right. And now, so we've touched on a little bit of the writing, a little of the directing, obviously the actor. What about artist, right? Put a picture up here.
That's something that he's very passionate about. He loves his art.
Abstract artist, excuse me, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if he would say he was an artist first before a writer, or maybe a writer before an artist. I think he'd say either one.
I came across a little something in the archives here, and the point you just put up there, Tony, this may solidify that point. Look at this one here. This is one that he had done 50 years ago, Edgar Allan Poe, right?
50 years ago.
50 years ago, he came across that when he painted that. That's unbelievable. I wonder where that's hanging right now.
Look how cool it is too. Look at all the different the colors, the different depictions of it.
Yeah. So now I remember watching, him interview about his art, and, it was kind of his escape, right? Like he would paint how he felt, right? So I think that's where, I'm not an artist. I can't say this for sure, but maybe that's where you get the abstract from, is where you just paint. You don't have a plan when you get to canvas,
right?
And you just let it bleed out of you, right? You just, all your frustrations, all your hate, maybe your happiness. You might get one picture that starts out a certain way and ends a dark way, or I mean, it works, right?
No, he's I don't understand it either, because I am not an artist either.
Mm-hmm.
I could not.
I like looking at it. I mean,
I love art. I couldn't draw or paint or whatever for the life of me. And
hey, art, right?
Exactly.
Art right there. So
exactly.
One of my favorite.
How cool was that scene? How cool was that he just did that, from that scene?
Yeah. I tell you something. When I saw that at the end of Rocky 3, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with that painting. And, that's one, if I, we've all got the posters and the backgrounds, and it's fun to have Rocky posters and pictures and memorabilia. If I could choose one thing, it's that picture.
Oh, really?
It's that. I think if they said, okay, you got to get rid of everything. It just, I don't know what it is. Maybe I was, I was 12 years old. I was 12 years old and I saw it, and just the build up where they're walking to the ring, and just the two of them. There's nobody around. It's just the two of them. And they're, Rocky saying, I thought you'd learn how to live with this. And Paul's like, I lied.
Oh, you lied.
Yeah, you lied. So you got to prove that's right, Stein. Just no TVs, no cameras, just you and me.
That's it.
It's an unbelievable, and those are his words, right? He wrote those words. He's directed that scene, right? So, they get in the ring and he says, well, how are you going to do that? You taught me everything, Apollo, almost everything, almost. So it's just the two of them, and
he played it so well.
Yeah, they both played it right.
Oh, it's so perfect. It really was.
And then
it's, that scene there was definitely, because throughout the movie, I don't know about you. When I saw it for the first time, I couldn't think of the favor he was going towards.
Yeah.
I didn't think he wanted a behind the scenes, a behind closed door rematch.
That's right.
I never thought he was going there. I had no idea what he was.
Yeah. And he wouldn't tell Rocky, right?
No.
He says, after
kept building up through the whole movie.
Yeah.
So I had no idea.
He gave him
that's one of my favorites.
Then he gave him the shorts, right? He gave him the colors. I can't wear the colors. The colors we wore in our first fight together, Says, you just make sure you wash them before you bring them back, right? Like just the little things that he puts in the movies.
Yeah.
Right. And, I don't know if Rocky 3 was a darker movie than 2, but cause how it starts out, right? How he loses and Mickey dies and he doesn't want to fight, right? It goes pretty dark.
Well, yeah, I would say it's darker, in the case of, like you just said, loses Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, Adrian went into a coma.
Yeah.
So, but she didn't die.
Yeah. Well, that was two.
I don't know.
That was two, but yeah.
It was definitely something that you didn't feel as confident about Rocky going into this film.
No,
I
that's
didn't
right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
When I saw the movie.
Yeah.
I saw it for the first time in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I saw Clubber Lang and Mr. T, I thought he connects Rocky's head's going to fly off. He's a massive man.
Like I said, he scared the hell out of me, right? I was 12 when I saw that, and I didn't see it in the theater, but I was thinking this guy's an animal. Like he's going to destroy him.
Like Mickey says, he's a wrecking machine, and he's hungry, and he was. He was, yelling at everybody, yelling on the steps. He was just an angry force, and he was almost like, how could you stop this guy?
Yeah. And then,
crazy.
they got the emotional connection, right? You got Rocky and Mickey, and Mickey's trying to get him to retire. And he says, horses retire, presidents retire, put you out to stud, kid. And, Rocky comes back with, you don't train me at everybody bought a new pair of underwear in like 10 years. Okay.
And he
just another line, eh?
But who could retire after, like he said, I can't retire knowing all this. How true is that? What professional athlete on that level was just told that his manager was carrying him?
Yeah.
Which he was. Mickey's denying it, but he was. And they weren't setups. Yeah. But let's face facts, they weren't fighters that could give him a run for his money.
No.
I don't know of any professional athletes that could do. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Not happening at all.
But
I mean, what's your, can you think of a favorite scene outside of Rocky? Outside of the Rocky movies?
Outside of Rocky movies?
Rambo movies?
Like Rambo movies? Well, I'm a big fan of First Blood Part 2 where he comes out of them. Yeah. I'll tell you one of the scenes. First Blood Part 2. And we touched on this last week in our Rambo series. When he comes out of the mud. When he comes out of the mud wall, they're looking for him in the jungle, and all of a sudden the eyes open up, and he's in the mud, and he comes out and he strangles the guy. I was blown away when I saw that.
I don't know about you, but I didn't see him there until he opened his eyes.
No, you know what? I've seen First Blood Part 2 more than twice. I know he's there, but I still kind of think it's like when you're watching Rocky 2, and you're like, come on, get up, Rock. You get caught up in it. You get caught up in the movies. That's why these movies hold up. That's why 50 years from now, people are going to be watching Rocky 3. You could put Rocky 3 in the theater right now, and people will be cheering when he wins the belt back. You know what I mean? It's just that there's certain movies that hold up. You can go to a movie and say, that was a good movie. There's certain movies where you're like, I'm going to go watch that again. Or I can't wait to get that or buy it on DVD or
to see it again.
VHS. If I can date myself.
He's had some good other films outside of Rocky or Rambo.
Yeah.
I'd have to say maybe Lock Up and Cliffhanger would be two of my favorites as far as an action style movie.
Sure.
Cause I loved Copland as far as the acting and the story went.
Yeah. I think he should have won something for Copland.
I'm sure you and a lot of other people.
Not because well, first of all, he's completely different in this, right? He puts on a bunch of weight, purposely puts on weight.
Yeah. And he said that was actually hard for him. He said it was tough for him to do that.
At the beginning, I think he said at the beginning, but then all of a sudden you realize I'm eating pancakes and ice cream every morning for breakfast and bacon and syrup. And he goes, it's not bad, but he says to switch back.
Yeah.
That got hard. It got he realizes the struggle. And I think that's why people relate to him. I recently heard him say that, I wanted to build a body that people could attain. Right.
Right.
You look at him, he's not a bodybuilder. He's not like Schwarzenegger was, right? But he worked out with the bodybuilders. He worked out with Schwarzenegger. He worked out with Franco Columbo, right? Yep. And these guys won Mr. Olympia contest. They won Mr. Universe contest. These guys, that's all they did was live in the gym. And they said they didn't, Sly would come in and push it and push it and push it. And, that's something that they were like, this guy doesn't stop. He doesn't stop in the gym.
No.
Right? So, I don't think he was, I don't want to say, again, I don't want to put words in his mouth. He was never happy with his body, but he was always changing it. And he was always saying, okay, for this role, I want to look this way. For this role, I want to that way.
Right.
That's a bit of the director in him, right? Mm-hmm. That's a bit of the writer in him. He had a vision. So First Blood Part 2 and Rocky 3, he wanted to look thinner. He wanted to look like a middleweight. He wanted to look like the POW in First Blood. Right. So to me, you're never happy. You're never satisfied. And that's what draws me to this superstar.
Well, think about it. I mean, you talked about Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbo. Mm-hmm. Look at their bodies from each competition. Like, how could you improve on that? Your perfection, you're Mr. Olympia. But they did. Mm-hmm. They did improve on it. So it's just the way that mindset is when you're at that level.
Yeah. No, that's right.
At that level. But it's, and that's why I also too like the fact of, I wouldn't say like the Cliffhanger or Lock Up or those types of films threw his physique in your face as much as Rambo did.
Well, and since we're on that subject, and we're talking scenes, I still have, this scene doesn't go far from my computer. Okay. Right here. This is one of my favorite scenes in any movie is the stick fighting scene. He is jacked, people. Yeah. Like he's an animal, right? I believe he said this was he was in the best shape of his life for this role. And rightly so. You can see it there.
Oh yeah.
On film.
He was probably, probably looking at like 4% body fat, something along those lines.
He was incredible. Another scene, I go to Cobra. I'm a huge fan of Cobra, and I wish he had done, I don't know if there was more material for another one, but when he goes into the grocery store at the first of the movie, and he says, he comes in and he says, the guy says, bring those cameras in here. He says, I can't do that. He says, I'll blow this whole place up. And he goes, go ahead. I don't shop here. Like,
those are the movies that were always, as soon as Arnold said, I'll be back. That was it.
Yeah.
Everybody had the tagline.
That's your 80s cheese right there.
But,
right?
But it was, you could have definitely done a few Cobras. It was just a cop story. It was no different than Lethal Weapon.
No, that's right.
You could definitely have done 3 or 4 of them if they chose. Yeah. Plus, he had a really cool car.
Yeah, cool car, but he would have had to get a different one after he totaled it. Right.
Exactly.
So he's been in some. When you look at Cobra, you look at the Expendables. Right? It's a good car chase scene. So he's really mixed it up, right? So he's tried his hand at comedy. Some of it has worked. Some of it maybe depends on what your taste is.
Right.
Has not. Right. Country singer and Rhinestone. I think we all remember that role with Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I think
that's just role. I think it's just any actor. Look at Robin Williams. So did Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Both of them were known for their funny slapstick comedy films. Mm-hmm. And they go on to win Best Actor in dramatic roles. They just get tired of doing the same old funny little thing. Let's see what else I could do. How could I better myself as an actor?
Yeah.
So I get that part. And now you're the action film. You want to do the comedy. And then that's why he went also to dramatic roles when he did Copland.
Yeah.
I want to show people I can act.
Yep. That's right.
And just like in Creed.
Like Copland. Oh, that was just and the thing is he worked with a huge cast, right? So it just wasn't him. So, but he really stuck out, I think, in that one.
But the role he played, I think you can relate. Everybody knows the story of the role he played. He was, he couldn't hear it in the one ear because he rescued the girl that he liked, and he couldn't go on the department in New York City, so this little town that everybody lives, all the cops live in,
and they think they're cops, so they're
they're above the law in that little town.
In the town, right? So
he reflects that, like the one scene where he had a little too much to drink. He's playing pinball.
Yeah.
He's got flip flops on and he's playing pinball.
Opens the parking meter and takes all the money. That's where the money goes, everyone. If you don't know, when you feed the parking machine, it's for the cops that can. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to get in trouble here. So you can feed the pinball machines, right? So, but
good scene though. Mm-hmm. And then I was surprised later on too that he did Grudge Match. Only because I never thought he would do a boxing movie that wasn't Rocky.
Yeah, because I really enjoyed it. You got Kevin Hart, right? So he's bringing in. You got De Niro, right? Yeah, and and then you got Kevin Hart. So Kevin Hart's is kind of like he's a lot newer, but it was that really nice mix. A little bit of comedy. You got some fighting scenes. You got the training scenes. I like the story. I like the background, right? It worked because it was two fighters 30 years ago. Because you got to remember, these guys, they fought 30 years ago, hate each other's guts, right? And he didn't want to fight. That was one thing he wanted to take away
there's
from.
Probably some guys out there like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure there's a couple of boxers that would say, you know what, let's get it. Hagler and Hearns, I bet you if you ask them, you want to go? Yeah, a fighter's a fighter, right?
Let's go one more.
All day long. Let's go one more round. So. But no, you're right. There's some really good like Death Race 2000 that doesn't get mentioned ever, right? So you touched on Victory and we touched on Fist a little bit. So
and that was before Rocky.
That was before Rocky, yeah. So
we had the machine gun.
Yep. So that was there's some. I like that he's allowed himself to expose himself to different roles, right? So he's not just that. He's not going to go down as, oh, you're Rocky, the punch drunk boxer. I remember you. Like he's, I don't think people realize. I apologize for that. I don't think some people realize that he's writing and he's directing, he's acting.
Some people
he's playing
do.
that boxer, right?
Other people, there's always going to be a large group of people that think he's just the action star. Oh, you're the 80s action guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're Rocky. You're the blow him up. Same thing with Arnold. And Arnold's done a ton of stuff too. But he's always going to be known as the action guy. I mean, that's just what it is. And I think that's probably how, I'm assuming, of course, Expendables started. They might have been sitting around just chatting like we are right now, and we're always going to be known as the action guys. Well, let's get a bunch of us together and make an action movie and, just have some fun.
I tend to, I'm a big Expendables fan, and I tend to think that they were right. They were sitting around and they're out of ideas in Hollywood, right? So they're kind of just doing redos. There's nothing wrong with the remakes. Some of the movies that they did before remakes
have some originality.
Yeah, but these guys were the biggest action stars in the 80s, and to get them all in one series, right? Or one movie or a couple movies, right?
Right.
And not only that, like to get the screen time for some of them, he directed that, right? And I believe he wrote The Expendables. So he's getting everybody a bit of screen time, so it's not just focused on him, right? Like he's in a team this time. He's not Rambo. He's not going in all by himself. He's relying on the team, and it's not like a perfect. They're not perfect every time, right? So they're older. Like, and they say that, like it'll get to us. It gets to everybody. The life will get to us.
Yeah.
That's, I think, and they're going to do another one.
I mean, right? look at Rambo Last Blood.
Yeah.
He couldn't do the things like he did when he was even in Rambo in 2008.
Yeah. John Rambo. Yeah.
That was a very different, Rambo. And then of course, 2 and 3 were comic book Rambo.
Yeah.
Nothing
I still love Rambo 3. Like, I understand it doesn't get a lot of, credit compared to First Blood. Those are two movies. To me, you just want to shut your brain off and enjoy a movie, enjoy the action.
Well, It's kind of like Rocky 3 and 4 compared to 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Rocky. Oh, I said 1, Tim. You didn't call me out on that. See?
I knew you'd catch yourself.
But I mean, Rocky and Rocky 2. I mean, I don't compare any of them to Rocky, with the exception of maybe Balboa.
Yeah.
It's not fair. And 3 and 4 were on a different level, and not including the director's cut of 4. 4, like everybody has said, it's a MTV movie.
Yeah.
With these larger than life muscle guys and
the music, and
it was what it was. And let's face it. And financially, it was the most successful of the series. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it did something right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't compare that to Rocky. It's just like you can't compare that Rambo 3 to First Blood.
No, that's right.
It's just not a comparable story. And it's not, he wasn't at that level yet where he was just larger than life.
Yeah.
It was more of a, I just want to get something to eat. Just leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me cross this bridge. Just leave me be.
Yeah, that's right. All he wanted, people, was something to eat. Right.
That's it.
But he kept pushing. A king shit cop wouldn't leave it alone. Right. So another great line. So, I mean, give me some of your favorite lines from Sly movies.
Favorite line?
Rocky, Rambo, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not going to go.
What sticks out? What sticks out in your mind? Anything else like cliffhanger?
I'm not going to touch Rocky. I mean, everybody that knows me knows my favorite Rocky quote.
Yeah.
But there's numerous lines in the Rocky saga that I love. But I'd rather go outside the box.
But what about the characters around him, like Paulie, right, and Adrian, right? So I don't think anybody's ever going to forget when Paulie pulls out the turkey out of the oven in Rocky. Right? Rips off the leg and throws the bird out in the alley. You want the bird? Go out in the alley and eat the bird. Right? So
that's why I hope he does a prequel to Rocky, because I really need to know like how Rocky and Paulie became friends. Yeah. How does he even put up with him? Like he was saying in Rocky 3, we grew up in the same neighborhood. You forget. I was the one that got your first girl, and all.
Yeah, well, that's right. We first meet Paulie in the bathroom at Andy's bar, right?
Yeah.
And he comes in and he says, "I'd like to kill the freaking moron that broke the mirror." He goes, "Let's get out of the stink, would you?" He goes, every day, every night I pass by your sister. I tell her a joke. Forget her, you know? And he says, I set you up with the first girl. She was pregnant, right? And that's what he said.
So?
There's no crowd
So?
around you either. So were they just two buddies from back in the day, right?
They kind of were. I mean, they were, they were let's face facts. Rocky was a bump from the neighborhood at the time.
Sure. Yeah.
And, Paulie, I'm sure, was not much on a notch higher at all, if not notches below. At least Rocky had a heart. Paulie he was pissed off at everybody.
No, that's right. That's like I said, I would love to ask Sly, like, I'd like to see the notebooks. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to see all the little, like, who he puts in what dialogue. Did he scratch this out? Did he put this in? Just the little things that Paulie added.
You could see why they became the way they did.
Yeah.
You could see why Paulie, like, you first meet him, he's mad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why is he always so angry? What happened to him?
Yeah.
And there's a picture of Paulie on the table when Rocky goes to the house for Thanksgiving, and he's in some type of military uniform.
Yeah, looks like a Navy. Yep.
So he obviously was in the military, even if it was a short period of time.
Yep.
I would love to see the connection, but he brought him back around to be human.
Sure.
In the beginning of Balboa, when he says he doesn't want to live in the past, you treated her good, I treated her bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to remember those things. He knows. He knows what he did.
Yeah.
He knows he treated his sister horrible.
You still get like in Balboa, right? Like he still get, are you mad because Adrian left you? He's that one friend. Everybody's got one or two friends that, you love them. You hang out with them, but they drive you friggin' crazy. It's like, what? Like, did you really just say that?
Well, I love him in that Stallone in that scene because he just takes that deep breath. He looks like he's about to burst in tears or rip Paulie's head off his shoulders.
Yeah. He does start crying.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay, Rocco. Okay.
He does actually start to shed a tear when he starts talking about it, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, once he started talking about it.
Yeah.
But when he first says, are you mad she left you? He's like, she died, Paulie. And then he's like, okay, Rocco. Okay.
Yeah. He knows that he's pushed it too far again.
Yeah.
Right? So,
but I drifted away from your question. I like I said, I did like Cliffhanger and Lockup. Mm-hmm. I do like the opening scene. Again, we're not giving anything away, guys. It's a very old movie. Yeah. When he's, he looks down at her. He's like, look at me. You're not going to die.
Yeah.
I mean, it opens up with a bang. So
wow. I did see Cliffhanger in the theater, and I think there was a gasp in the theater.
Because let's face it, did you think he was going to drop her? Or fall? Whatever?
I mean, you're 5 minutes in, and I don't want to use minutes in a movie, but you're sitting down, the movie starts.
The credits just ended.
They're on this cliff, and then it just goes south, right? It just goes south, and I'm thinking, what just happened?
I know.
Like, what just happened? And, I mean, it changed the whole
obviously
I thought it was going. That's right, yeah. Sure.
It had to for the storyline. That's why he left the town and stuff like that. But it's, that's one of my favorite ones. And Lockup too, I liked. It was just, I like the Longest Yard movie, the original. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So I like that little, I hate to say camaraderie. They're prisoners, but they had that little camaraderie of their own little group working on the Mustang and stuff and the football
playing
game.
Football,
Working good film. Real good film.
No, it was good. And, Donald Sutherland, right? He played such a good role in that.
How could you not hate him in that movie?
Oh, you just hate him. You just hate him. When you don't like characters, by the end of the movie, you know that they've really nailed their role, right? So,
well, that's the thing. I mean, when you do hate a character, they're doing their job. They're
that's right.
To the T. You're not supposed to. Oh, he's okay. Well, look at Apollo. Yeah, I didn't hate Apollo in Rocky. When Rocky was fighting him and he was, fight him at the end. I wanted Rocky to win, but I didn't hate him. I was a different feeling in Rocky 2 when he was getting a little more serious and a little more mouthy, but I still didn't hate him.
Yeah.
Mr. T, I hated.
Yeah.
Mr. T, I hated. Ivan Drago, I hated. And Ivan Drago, I hated, I think, for different reasons because he only said about 6 words. So how could you hate him? But I think that's why I hated him. He was just like this cocky, just standing there guy, and it was just, but they did their job. They acted it perfectly to the T.
Yeah. He just come in and he was, fight and just, there was not a lot of dialogue, right, from him. Drago, that is.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Well, Sly, we could sit here and talk for hours and hours about your career. I hope
Oh
you're
my
watching.
goodness. Yeah. Like, so, I mean, but he's certainly not done. So like I said, I touched on, November. We got a big one. Everybody is waiting for this.
I am so looking forward to this series.
Right? Mm-hmm.
So
well,
much.
anybody that's watched Yellowstone and they know
it's funny
that
you said that.
The same people that have their handprints all over this.
It's funny you said that because just Friday, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what day it was. It was only a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Stallion and I started watching Yellowstone.
Sure.
Because I told you I got the Paramount. So I was
Yeah.
like, well, you know what? I've heard everybody talk about Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah. It's so good.
We're on season 1, episode 5.
Okay.
So obviously a lot to go because there's 4 seasons.
Yeah. So
10 episodes a season.
You've met Rip Wheeler.
But I could see.
You've been introduced to him.
Yeah. I could see the writing and the storyline and the acting. If that is that good, I can only imagine what this is going to be like.
Yeah.
And I see people too also saying, oh, let's have a Tulsa King Yellowstone crossover. Let's have them, somehow get connected.
Yeah.
I mean, Montana's not really close to Oklahoma, but who knows? Maybe they have it for some reason.
I can see it. I watched Yellowstone. I watched, everything that they put out. I'm all caught up to date.
Oh, we were on episode 3. I said I only saw 5 of them, but by episode 3, I told my wife, this is Godfather with cowboy hats.
Yeah, sure.
It was, but he, I'm really, really looking forward to
anybody that needs a reminder, set your VCRs if you still have any. No, everybody's got the Paramount Plus. If you don't have Paramount Plus, go and jump on it.
Yeah, go get it now.
You're not going to want to miss this one, right? So,
you might have to have Rick make you a Tulsa King sign there.
That's right. So
behind you.
That's right. So behind me and behind the Stallion, right there. We're gonna jump around here. A good friend, Rick Babcock.
Mine's up there.
Yeah, Rocco Bob 33. I'm gonna put a picture up here. Check this out here.
Yeah, that was the first one I got. That's the first one I got.
Yeah. So, he does these incredible street signs, and as few of you may have figured out, Tony is very meticulous in what he likes on his signs. He will work with you. He's really good. He doesn't, yeah. Here's some more of your signs here.
No, he will. And he's very cool about what you want on the sign. Like when he first did the Thunderlip sign for me, I didn't like the font on it and the way it was written and stuff. And I just asked him, I said, were there other fonts you could show me? And he did. And I liked that one. And there we went with it. Yeah. I have a little OCD psychoness to me. And I like everything very meticulous and professional and the way I want it.
There's nothing wrong with that. You got a bit of the Sly in you, right? I'm sure that when he's directing, when he's writing, he has a vision. He's like, no, we're going to do it this way. From what I've heard, he's unbelievable on set, right? Like nobody works harder. Whether he's in it, whether he's the actor, whether he's writing it, whether he's directing, or all three, he's going to do it the way he wants to do it, and we're going to get it done right. So,
and it's obviously, more so, I would say anyway, again, I'm not in his shoes, but I am the way I am with a lot of things in my, whatever I do. If I don't, it's not a question of even my way. It's more of a question of making it be as perfect as it could be.
Sure.
And, and it may be my opinion or somebody else's opinion, but I'd rather it be, look, let's make it this way so it could be a little bit better or a little bit whatever I'm looking for. So I could understand why he would just be the way he is. But yeah, Rick makes amazing signs. They are real street signs, so they are reflective. They hang up on the wall pretty easy with those 3M Velcro strips. That's what I use anyway.
Yep.
But Rick's going to have a lot more time on his hands to make signs, guys.
Yeah, he's retired now.
Retired. Yeah, good.
Congratulations, Rick. We hope you and Deb enjoy your retirement. I'm sure she's got lots of jobs for you around the house now. I don't know if
Deb's going to enjoy it. He's home now all the time. So Deb.
Well, you know what? You get him down there making signs, and we'll pump his tires a little bit. Get him busy making signs down in the shop.
I got some shirts I need you to make. Rick.
I think we need a round 14 podcast sign.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to him about that. I said, let's get a little logo going. Let's see what we can do here.
Yeah,
we might have to wait, and maybe if the audience members are starting to increase, maybe they want one.
Yeah.
But, I would love to get a street sign up there with that. That'd be cool.
Rocco Bob 33. that's a handle right there, right? As Apollo Creed would say, sounds like a damn monster movie, right? That's another
I
classic
love that line.
I love it, right? So
Apollo Creed versus the Italians.
and the funny thing was, it was the name, man. It's the name, right? Duke says, no. I don't want you fighting southpaws. You do everything backwards. I don't want you. He goes, I don't care. Drop him in 3. Like he just didn't even want to know about him.
Part. I mean, we all know that it was based on Muhammad Ali, and he played it to the T. I mean, you could you see Muhammad Ali going, oh, wait, he is a southpaw. Let me think about that. No way. I'm dropping him. He's pointing the glove. He played it to the letter. He was so perfect.
That's right. No, it was so good. And then, the scene where Duke is watching Rocky pound the meat. Oh. And he says, you better come over here and look at this boy you're fighting.
Yeah, he means
goes, yeah, so do I. And he's ordering flowers for the mayor's wife, and he's getting more coffee, and
because he thinks it's all publicity stuff.
So, I mean, we see Rocky do this in Rocky 3, right? Yep. Yeah. Rent the schmooze fest, and he's got fans in there training, and he's got a band playing, and bubbles are flying in the air, and Mickey
pops the bubble.
Mickey's about to have an aneurysm, right? Like,
he's all mad.
I don't want to say this pushed him over the edge a little bit, but he's gonna I don't want to say he's gonna have a heart attack and die.
To do with that.
No, but you can see the frustration, right? You can tell. First of all, he doesn't want him fighting, doesn't think he's ready, and certainly he's not showing that he's ready.
No.
But we all know how 3 ends and with a favor and but there's some great stuff that he's done. There's great stuff coming. So like I said, Expendables 4 coming out. I'm excited for that. One more ride with the boys, right? So it would appear, because he wasn't on set as much, he may not be in the whole thing, but he's going to be in it.
We talked about this one episode. I remember like I said, I think he's going to take over the Bruce Willis role. Yeah. Where he just kind of came in, directed, bolted.
Well,
but who knows? We'll see.
I think, and then I think you don't see him at the beginning. And then they call him back into action. That's my theory, and I could be way off.
That's a great theory. The young kids are starting to do it, and then they got to make the phone call and say.
But you know what? Leave us your opinion in the chat. We'd love to hear what you guys think. You guys are. We read all your comments, and Tony and I go back and forth and some ideas, and tell us what your favorite scene was from Rocky, Rambo, Cliffhanger. I don't know. There's so many guys. Obviously Rocky and Rambo are gonna, we've touched on that. They're gonna be.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many we didn't mention: the Specialist, the Assassin, Daylight. Yeah. Get Carter. I mean, there's, you can just, that's why I said, Sly, we could talk, we've been talking for almost an hour. We can go another hour.
Get Carter. It's funny you mentioned that. Get Carter it almost, I don't know if he's drawn a little bit of Get Carter into the Tulsa King, but that whole,
that's how he looks,
like the mob, the suit and the goatee and the glasses and he says, I'm Jack Carter and you don't want to know me, right? Like he was it was such a different, just a 180 almost compared to what he did before. Yeah. And I remember it doesn't get a lot of recognition, right? Like you said, everybody goes to Rocky, everybody goes to Rambo.
That's a remake though now. That.
Sure. Yeah, is a remake. Michael Caine, right? Yep. Was it Michael Caine?
Yep.
Who was in Get Carter. That's what I like about the remake.
He was the character. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the Stallion, you've got to watch the Longest Yard remake.
I did.
You did watch it.
I've been doing my homework. Okay. We're going to be doing the remakes.
What did you think? What did you think of that?
Well, we're going to hold it for the remake episode.
Remember? All right. Good. Good.
But I'm doing my homework. I did Longest Yard. I did Footloose. Mm-hmm. I think tomorrow night's Point Break.
Yeah.
We'll see. So I'm doing my homework.
Oh, that's good. No, and you know what? Is there any better homework than watching a movie?
I know.
Like
looking up trivia questions. That's my homework.
Trivia questions. Oh, trivia. It's funny you mentioned that. Well, let me see here if I can pull up my retro trivia.
We got to get the little music.
Yeah, I apologize. We got
to get some 80s 80s trivia music.
Well, if you can't hear that picture, there's something wrong with you, right? Anybody that grew up in the 80s sees that and immediately flashes back to their roller rink or 5-pin bowling or, so, okay. Are you up or am I up for the trivia?
I'll ask the first one. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead. So since obviously it's an all Sly episode.
And again, I just want to touch on, we did not set this up. This is not, we don't do this. We have a little, I'm going to go Hollywood on this one because we're doing Sly. We have a little production meeting before our show, and just to make us feel like directors and writers, because this is the Sly episode. But we don't want to just come in and just sit here and go, what do you want to talk about? We don't want to just
press record.
What do you want to talk about? So, no, we kind of go over what we want to talk about. And I think that's, like anything, any kind of, if you are acting professional, which we're not, we're certainly not professionals, but we're having a good time.
We're having fun.
We do not go over these questions. So we're going in blind. So if you watched last week's episode, and if you haven't, it's on YouTube right now.
Yep.
He got me with a Karate Kid question.
Yeah.
So, and then
you got me too.
The funny thing was the Karate Kid was on, I think 2 days later, and I saw that scene. I'm like, son of a, how did I not know that? So yeah,
I was shocked you got. I was shocked you missed that one. I really was.
So anyways,
all right,
go ahead.
So the first Sly question I have is, there is a what movie? I'll give you a multiple choice.
Okay,
how about that?
Yeah, I like that. Right. I'm gonna pick C.
Okay.
When in doubt,
what movie
pick C.
Did Sly not write?
Ooh,
Lock Up, Rambo, Cliffhanger, or Rocky? Threw that in there as a little givey.
Yeah. Lock Up.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
And listen, I'm gonna come clean on this one. The only reason I was so fast with that, I had the same question.
Oh, no way.
I swear it's right here. It's right here. I'm gonna prove it to you.
God.
Right on the bottom.
Oh, that's so
right
funny.
On the bottom. Right there. If you can read my chicken scratches, it is not so funny. Not, I swear. That was one of the questions I thought I'm going to get him this week, and then boom. So yeah, Lock Up. He did not write.
Hysterical. All right. Well, we'll try number 2. See, okay. Hopefully you don't have the second question either.
And this was not scripted either, folks.
Yeah, exactly. I was torn between Cliffhanger and Lock Up. I didn't know which one. I probably would have went Cliffhanger if I had a guess, but I wasn't sure. All right. Sly's directorial debut was in what movie? Was making what movie?
Really?
You don't have that question, do you really?
Paradise Alley, because that was my first question, Tony. Right there. Okay.
Stop.
I'm not kidding. Paradise Alley.
Oh my goodness.
What was Sly's first directed movie? And it was Paradise Alley.
What am I going to do with you?
I'm not.
You know what? You know what we have to do next time? Well, you know why this is funny is because every time we do trivia, we have 2 different subjects.
That's right. That's
so
right.
we can't get the same ones.
Okay, go ahead. Number 3.
All right, well, might as well go for it now.
Yeah.
What movie did Sly play Sergeant Joe Bumowski?
Ooh. Okay, I do not have that one as a question, but I think I know the answer. Sorry, what was his name again?
Sergeant Joe Bumowski.
Yeah, that would be, I'm going to say Victory.
Sergeant Joe Bumowski is not Victory.
No, it isn't. Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah. It is. Drum roll, please. Stop or my mom will shoot.
Wow. Good. Yeah. Okay. You're right. So, you know what? I immediately thought it was a Victory because, they were in the army for that movie.
They were POWs. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
POW,
yeah. Jesus, you got me. Yeah. No, now listen, I've seen Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I've seen it a couple times. It's a cutesy movie.
Yeah.
It's certainly not the first one I'm going to grab.
No. Sly, I'm sorry we brought that up.
Yeah, but listen.
I know how passionate you are about that movie.
You know what? It was a good movie. It was a fun movie. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot worse, right? So, okay, you got me.
All right, so we got, I'll ask 2 more since I had the first 2 were duds.
Mm-hmm.
What movie, I'm sorry, how many Oscar nominations did Rocky get? And how many did they win?
Okay. I think I'm going to say they were nominated for 5. I'm going to say 5. They were nominated, but they won 3. Obviously won Best Picture. Mm-hmm. They won I think they won for best sound. Is it soundtrack? Is that even an Oscar?
That is an Oscar. Yeah.
I'm going to say sound, and I'm going to say, Jesus, this is bad. I'm going to get this wrong. You're going to take me off the air. I'm going to say editing.
Well, you almost had it.
Yeah.
It was 11
screenplay. 11 nominations.
11
really?
nominations. Well, because they all got nominated. Italian Shire was nominated. Burt Young was nominated. But but they did win 3. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Sly was obviously nominated for Best Actor, which he was nominated again for Creed, Best Actor for the same role, which 40-something years apart.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they won. They did win 3. You're right. They won Best Picture. And they won Best Editing.
Okay, so I got 2.
You got 2, and the other was Best Screenplay.
Screenplay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was close. Should have won. Well, they should have goddamn well won for the friggin' music.
Oh God,
right?
absolutely.
Come on. Like, how do you sit there and Bill Conti is sitting there and you don't give it to him? Even if I'm presenting the envelope, I'm just going to say Bill Conti. I'm giving it to Bill Conti. Sorry. I don't know who won. I don't know who won that year, but it could have been better than Rocky.
Well, it depends on, because don't they have like,
that's my rant. Sorry, everyone.
They have best music. I forget how it's worded, but it's somehow it's best music or something, best soundtrack, and then there's like a best song, whatever it may be. Again,
right? It's 1976. What could possibly be better than that?
I'd have to look it up to see for our next episode. I don't know.
And I apologize for the person that did win. So congratulations to whoever you did.
You worked hard and you earned it, but
you beat out Rocky. That's
better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how does it not win? How does it not win Best Director? How does it not win Best Actor?
Yeah.
But again, maybe we are biased.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So obviously I took away 2 of your questions. Sorry.
Okay. So do you have any more or is that it?
No. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got first I'm going to start off with a slam dunk. What restaurant franchise did Sly acquire?
Oh, okay. That is a slam dunk. Planet Hollywood.
All right. It's just warming. It's like stretching, right? You can't just go start running. You got to get
a little bit.
Okay. Well, you threw me off because you stole some of my questions. So, like my first.
I couldn't believe you had those.
Okay. Well, I have a question that I can't use now because you sort of asked it. I was going to ask, did Sly win for Best Actor? True or false? And obviously it's false, right? So that was a slam. That was stretching the legs out. All right. Jesus, do I not? Okay. Rocky. We'll do a Rocky question. Rocky related question.
Okay.
So obviously in the movie and the characters, and depends on what movie you get, the Marvel movies, and it's all, makeup and artists. And where did Sly get the fedora that he uses in Rocky?
Oh, it was I don't know the name of the place, but it was in just some 5 and dime thrift shop type place, I believe.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. So, and, that turned out pretty well for him, right?
He just saw it hanging there and thought he should wear it. I mean, right? Yeah. Look how that turned out.
And probably wasn't worth $5. So I don't know. I don't know what it was. I'd like to know what he paid for it, eh?
I guarantee he paid $1 or less. I mean, it was 1976. So
so it turned out pretty good. Now I'm going to be flying by the seat of my pants because I'm kind of.
Should I have a time filler here?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, you threw me right off by. I think it's funny that we went the same kind of questions.
That is.
Yeah. So what else we got?
Well, what else we have for the show? Or
Well, you got another trivia question before we wrap?
No, I'm all out. I'm done. I'm tapped out.
Well, you know what? I'm going to do my homework for next week. I really thought I would get you, but you know what? I think that just proves how big of fans we all are.
Sure. It's hard to find something that you don't think somebody would know.
So, and you know what? Honestly, I didn't want to just do something in the movies. I wanted to do something about Sly, right? So, I think it was great. We did, we we joke around a little bit about the trivia, and that's fun. Right? You got me on the Stop or Mumble Shoot.
Do it to have a good time.
You know what? That's great. But what I do want to get back to is the fact that this living legend, and I'm sorry if you don't like that term, Mr. Stallone, but you are a living legend.
Yeah, we have to accept that.
You know what? You're just going to have to accept that because we're all on the edge of our seats waiting for the next chapter because the previous chapter has been so phenomenal. And I want to thank you. I was sent a picture here from somebody that we're all going to recognize here. The birthday wishes are coming in like gangbusters here. So I'm going to put this up. And yeah, Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed. I want you to have a happy birthday, Sly.
That's right.
Right. So the iconic roles you've created, you know, the characters that you've given us, I can't thank you enough, sir. I mean, it's unbelievable. Not only the movies, but if you watch his Instagram, and everybody is, you know, some of the life lessons, some of the
I love him.
Some of the talks that he's given, the scene in Balboa, right? Yeah. So that scene in Balboa when he's talking to his son, whether you have sons or daughters, you know, I hope that we can all. I'm not going to say word for word give that speech to our children one day.
I have,
but pass, you know, what is behind the message in that. Yep. And I think as parents, you're a parent, I'm a parent. We all want the best for our kids. We want a better life than than we had. We want to give them every opportunity. We want to protect them, right? Yep. And I just find that, you know, that the roles that he's given and some of the speeches in the movies, I think of First Blood Part 2 when he's talking about when Troutman says, "What do you want?" You know, I want what they want. And every other guy that spilled his guts and gave everything he had for this country, right? Like a lot of that I think is coming from inside him, right? Yeah. Like he's writing those words. I would love to see what doesn't make it. Like every movie has, you know, it can't be 4 hours long, every movie. Right. I mean, I would watch a Rocky that's 4 hours long.
Oh, sure.
I would watch a Rambo, right? I would love to see a collection of deleted scenes, deleted.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Big Rocky box set or Rambo box set.
Yeah, just everything. I mean, if you dig hard enough, you can find it. You can put it together. But something that he puts out crisp and clean.
That'd be awesome.
Put
together a big box set, deleted scenes of a copy of the notebook that he wrote in, make a fake notebook or something. I mean, it would just be amazing.
I mean, we'll buy it, Sly. I mean, obviously, if you want to put it out, we'll put it out. But no, anything you want to say before we wrap up here?
No, you said it all. I mean, like I said, I am hoping not hoping. I mean, I hope everything falls into place in December where I can say something to the man himself.
Yeah.
Shake his hand and thank him for everything that he's done, and thanking him for having the courage to be Rocky. Because of that, millions of us have gone forward maybe when we didn't think we could. But have a great happy birthday. 7-6 on 7-6. You know, you lived a hell of a life and many, many more years to come, I hope.
No, that's right. And, just to, speaking of Sly again, and the characters he's created, I just want to just sort of touch, I didn't talk about it earlier. For anybody listening, we are on the Last Action Heroes podcast network. I know that's a bit of a mouthful. Look us up on, iTunes and Spotify, wherever you listen to us. This week, Saturday coming up, Tony and I have been invited to join It's a Long Road podcast with Ryan. We are going to break down some of First Blood, so we're excited to join Ryan on the podcast. And
that's going to be a good time. Yeah,
I think we're going to come in. So what they do is they have people on. They had John Rivoli on last week. You go back and listen to his episode. So we are going to continue on where Rambo blows up the gas station. So we're towards the end of the movie. We're going to come in and continue. So they do like a season. Okay. So they're wrapping up the first season and we're going to be part of it. just quickly, I wrote down a few of the people on the network here, and I wrote them down because I don't want to get them wrong. There's some really good ones. So 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger. You got the Drunk Bond podcast. Van Dammit. Obviously, that's Van Damme. This one, I've listened to a couple of these ones. I must break this podcast. So you can imagine the subjects there. That's and awesome. Then, last week I actually got in the Discord and I listened to One More Round, the One More Round podcast with Ryan, Katie, and Kyle. And they've got really good banter back and forth. Right now they're talking, Rocky. So they're breaking down the Rocky movie. I didn't say Rocky 1, Tony. I wouldn't dare say that. But,
hey,
you know what? They're really good. They're on the network. We're on the network with them.
Yep.
So like I said, we're going to join Ryan and talk some Rambo, because another character that is close and dear to my heart that Sly created, like I said, 83 movies. And he doesn't stop. We don't want you to stop. Unbelievable. Every character, you go to my shelf and I've got DVDs and the VHS and if it's on TV, I'll stop and watch. I'll find myself definitely watching it. So
that's most of them are put down a remote.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, this was fun, Tony. I appreciate doing this. We could talk Sly all day long, right? So
all day. No, I get a kick out of this. I enjoy doing the show. I enjoyed most of our topics that we talk about are entertaining. I hope to the people that are listening and watching.
Yeah.
And hopefully, Sly, you are watching.
Yeah.
And our birthday wishes. And I'm sure plenty of people will be putting it in the comments as well that, they're wishing you a happy birthday. But we thank you for watching and subscribe, like the channel, and, hope to see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Thank you. See you.